Hey, good morning, YouTubers. It's me again with probably the most bizarre oddball problem that I've encountered yet. So, this is an Echo SHC-225s. It's one of these pole hedge trimmers. Now that it works, it's actually a pretty decent little machine. A little clanky for my taste, but I guess landscapers really like these and appreciate them. And this Echo over here, this belongs to the same guy. He's a landscaper. I do stuff for his brother, so this gets dropped off too. So, and that's CS400 over there. So, anyways, get ready for this. This is for, again, a little bit more DIY, but I know that these things are really popular. So if you're having these same symptoms, this might be something to look at. And also, before I get too far into this, I gotta let you know, there's like half the time I can only go and do this stuff because I've worked on it before, and also because I got a great parts guy down here in Tucson over at H&H. He has small engine repair and stuff, so there's a shout out to Josh. So anyways, here's what happens. Guy brings this in, and he said he was using it. It's been here a week, and that never happens. So the guy brings it in, he says, like, he was just using it the day before, and then it would run, and then it wouldn't run. Well, you know what? This guy, somebody had been working on it before me, and I could tell because the handle was rolled over off to the side, which in itself is no big deal. But if you've worked on these things, you know that where the throttle cable comes up through, that there's little guides for the wires for this kill switch that they got to be in there. That's the way they designed it. That's the way it was engineered, so it doesn't interfere with anything. Well, the switch initially had been put in backwards, so instead of being this way, it was turned around and they put it in this way. And in order to kind of cover up what they did, they just undid that screw right there and then took and flipped the switch around. So now the wires are in there and they're being pinched. Well, I took care of that, but then I come down here and the guy says it's running, but you just can't believe everything that you hear from the customer, or they're not speaking the same language. I mean, you don't want to call your customers, a bullshitter, but sometimes it happens. So anyways, I go and I'm checking for a spark. I undo the ground wire. I'm still checking for spark. Nothing happens. I'm like, well, you know what? You need a new coil. So I haven't even seen or heard this thing run yet. I'm only going by what the customer is telling me. Go down to H&H and I pick up a new coil or a used coil. Okay. And I put that on. I get it to run, but it's backfiring out the exhaust and it's backfiring out the carburetor. So I'm thinking, well, you know what? If it was a 4-cycle, automatically I'm just going to say that, well, it's just going to be the key in the flywheel. But check these out. These are actually mounted backwards. This part right here, that part goes right up against the engine block, okay? And then that key, you can't, let me see if I can focus. Come on, bad chicken, focus. Right here. There's nothing to adjust. There's no key to take out. So I'm limited as to what I can do, thinking that, okay, well, the key is partially sheared and that's what's causing the backfire. So I'm doing everything. Went new carburetor, took and I did that. I even was attacking the old making the adjustments down inside there. I got my little screwdriver that helps me do that. I can't get rid of the backfire. And then here's the symptom. This thing was so friggin' hot. When I got it running, it was unbelievably hot. And then down here, I'm thinking, because it's so hot down here, I'm thinking like, well, maybe the clutch, where the clutch comes in contact with the shaft, that there's some resistance somewhere in here. So now I take and I pull this thing off. I'm going through everything. I rebuilt this thing 3 times to figure out what the problem is. Here it is, guys. The nuts and the bolts of the whole thing of why the timing was off. There was nothing wrong with the flywheel pertaining to the key. Okay? That part goes in there like this. And I set the gap at 10 thousandths where you're supposed to do it. The problem was the magnets. The magnet is weak on, I think it's this side. Let's see if we can see this. Over here on this side of the flywheel, that magnet is weak. And I don't have like a Gauss meter or anything like that to tell you exactly how much it's off or whatever, but I'm telling you, like by putting a screwdriver on there and just like lifting up and checking for the resistance, I could notice a huge difference. So what I did is like I had another flywheel from another unit, pulled it off, stuck it on there, and the thing runs like a champ now. But right down in there, that's the flywheel, how it looks when it's all set up, okay? And that's what the problem was. So if you've got an Echo, what did I say it is? It's an SHC-225s. Check that flywheel. If everything else is good and it's still bogging and running like shit, or like crap, check that flywheel. Go find your local parts guy so you're not spending the money to buy all that stuff. This little bad chicken right here is like $76, and that's off of like eBay. E-Replacements has got them for like 55 bucks, but save yourself the time, the money, the aggravation, and good luck with that 225S. Out.